You got it, girl. Trust.
I trust. I actually do trust. What's up, guys? We are here with another episode. Today we have Ashley Hart. She is a certified health coach. She's a Yogini, a brand ambassador.
Yay!
And we're getting right into it.
She got it. Yay! Welcome, Ashley.
Thanks, guys. Oh,
Yay! I guess who I am now is a combination and accumulation of my journey, which is definitely one of success in the modeling industry, and then really this call to find out what beauty is, not as my body, not as these constant thoughts that are telling me that I'm lacking, constant flux of emotions and change of hormones, and really getting to know myself as the energy that I truly am. And I have to say I'm in like this interesting transitional phase and stage. I've modeled for the last 15-16 years. I just turned 30. I came out of...
It's a big transition. Happy birthday.
Thank
Belated
you.
birthday.
Yeah. And came out of a marriage, which was a 7-year relationship. It's hard to rip out the rug of this abundance, so to speak, and go, okay, shit, like it's real now, and now I really need to create what I'm gonna do and what I'm gonna bring to the world from my heart, what's really meaningful for me. My relationship was falling apart, and we actually I felt like got married to save it.
Why? Just out of interest, why did you think? Because obviously, for anyone else that's thinking of doing the same thing, right? Because some people have children too and think that's going to be the same thing.
Yes.
Why do you think that you were under the illusion that would save it?
I don't know, I didn't even think about it. I just thought, like, if I put a ring on my finger and I lock myself in and I lock him in, then it's just gonna work, right? It has to. It's like, like I just would say, like, if I fully commit, then it's all just gonna work out.
Right.
But what I've really had to work out, and as it dismantled, and as I'm reestablishing who I am and how I want to move forward in being in relationship, is really establishing what commitment truly is to me.
I'm in process of learning to understand who am I beyond
Your circumstances.
Exactly.
And your own system.
Exactly. My own system, my upbringing, my belief systems, my whatever it is, because it's all I know. So my brain can only see it that way because it's all Charlie knows. Like my friends have only ever seen it that way, my parents. So am I stuck without, how can I get out of that?
To be in the unknown is like the scariest thing ever.
Yes.
Because like you're saying, like the story that Charlie knows, but the only way that we can upgrade and change our whole world is by changing our mind, and so we have to allow ourselves to be in an unknown place.
To then choose what we
want to now create. Yeah. And even to even be open to new things and new ways of seeing things and new relationships and new things happening. It's like we can't get out of a certain chaos with the same way that we went into the chaos.
Yep, exactly. The same mind that got you in the shit.
But
use that to get you out.
You feel borderline crazy because there's nothing that is like the baseline, that there's no knowing in it. And I used to rely on so many different fads and ways, or like a certain religion or a certain kind of yoga, and went so into different belief systems that's the way, and it feels safe because and you can always go, okay, let me go back to the book and figure it out. Like this is happening to me right now.
Those self-help books.
But once you've done so much of that, you get to a certain point where you've just got to let it all go. And it comes back to like everything that we've always learned, every spiritual practice comes back to, but it's like, how present can I be? Like how much can I literally just be here and trust and be in the unknown? Like it's huge, but it's what an opportunity. Like you're obviously ready for it. I feel like I'm ready for it because I'm experiencing
I'm excited for you guys. I'm proud of you for saying that, Charlie. I'm proud. Like I feel like my intuition gets really mixed up, at least as of lately, with my fear. And so I'm like, am I afraid and that's why I'm feeling something, or is it my intuition saying it's not right? I really can't tell anymore. And I know meditating would help that, but I just need to get in that practice more.
You definitely have to meditate.
Do it.
You're not meditating.
I do guided, and it's not every day.
But that's okay.
It's when I feel like I need it.
Do you want to do it? It's not about doing it when you need it. It's about like putting gas in the car, so when you actually have a crash or when you run down, like
you're actually better
you're
off.
Ready, you can keep going. Like you
rather
can
than
move through it
absolute
effortlessly.
disaster.
That's what I do.
Exactly.
And it's too late.
It's maintenance. It's maintaining the vehicle. It's important. I actually feel like I was like, well, I can keep changing my mind about it, but am I really listening? There is a difference, right?
Yeah.
Like, and it's about changing your mind in alignment with and being in tune enough with intuition. You know, saying no to someone or finishing
Yeah,
a relationship,
letting
it's
go.
not love.
Yeah,
right.
We have to be in tune enough to know what to switch our perception to, right?
Right.
And so it all comes back down to
Yeah.
like alignment with the self. But it can get so confusing. I think
Yeah.
this is like
It
the
really is.
epitome of the spiritual path, right?
Yeah.
It's like, are we following our truth? Are we following love? Are we
Yeah.
following our conditioning and fear? And ultimately, to live our
Yes.
purpose and be in
Yeah.
alignment with ourselves, we want to
Oh.
be following our deepest love.
Thank you.
And
So
yeah,
true.
thank Lord.
It's-
That's why
I
we do
have
everything we
so-
do
yeah,
to like
it's so
work
true.
that out.
Okay, how much do I need to sit back and flow and let it all happen?
Yes.
And how much do I need to be proactive and do the footworks?
Yes.
And like make it happen?
Yes.
How much do I need to be, you know, the same thing, out there rooting for it or sort of surrender? And then other times I'm like, do I need to get really specific? Because if I want a specific talk show or a specific,
my
you know,
God,
human
I
being
so
in my
hear you.
life,
Yeah.
or a specific like environment, like a location with a home and a feel to it, do I get
Yes.
really clear on that? Or do I just stay in a really positive vibration of abundance and gratitude and then just trust that the universe is going to bring all these magical things into my life and it's going to be a surprise? Like in the flow. And I'm like, I don't
I'm
even
talking
know.
to myself.
Right.
So good.
That's
my
And I
design
love that we
avenue.
can do it like this
I
too.
know,
It's
it's
like,
great.
oh my God, this is amazing. I think the first thing on that, and something that it's coming back to like the simplicity of everything that we learn and what every book comes back to, every practice comes back to, is being present. And that no situation or moment is the same.
Yes.
So now that you've established this toolkit, you've done all the work, there's not going to be one way to apply for manifesting the guy or knowing the home or the direction of the career and how much I need to surrender and how much I need to actually choose opposed to it being chosen through me. It's a constant, like, and that's what mastery is, moment to moment adapting. Like adaptation, and that's when meditation comes in because it's so important. If you're over caffeinated, over sugared, like sleep deprived, like, you know, you've just, your hormones, your whatever, like we're always constantly changing. That's just internally with our system, whatever the world is constantly throwing at us. I feel like modern day spirituality is like, and for me, it's just to master being completely present and knowing each moment what one of those tools after all these years to use. Right? And it's like, that's why it's like down to really self-care, which we know. It's like so important. And again, it's not because we need it, like we don't feel like we need to do it every day. We feel pretty good, but it's actually for the deeper purpose of being a vehicle of God or universe or whatever needs to come through us. We need to be like on point.
In shape, so that it can do that to its best ability.
Moment to moment to work it out.
So instead of being like, oh, today I'm going to be in the flow, and then tomorrow I'm going to work really hard, it's just every moment, what feels good right now, what works for me right now.
We have done so much work on the physical level, like on our own bodies, and mentally to make sure that we're not acting out of conditioning, like, you know, father issues or however we were loved, which takes a lot of like undoing of certain structures that we've created, stories we've told ourselves, and then also detoxifying the body and actually even body work or yoga, because we hold things, like there's so many different levels to get clear on, and then we fuel it with these amazing teachings and lessons and things like that. Ultimately meditating, because we really get to become one with the transcendent, which is the energy which is in all of us, like the truth of our absolute being. The more we can transcend all that is and just be with that, then we come back out into the world, so to speak.
And it's all very overwhelming.
Right, and it's back.
But, and then you can now be the director of your life.
Whilst
You can now choose, you now can direct, you can be savvy, you can trust that the actions that you're taking, the words that you're saying, the thing that you're doing, like how you're saying that you are that, you've established, I'm assuming, enough of yourself and like strong enough in yourself to now be like, oh shit, am I acting out of ego? Am I acting out of fear? Am I doing this? It's like, now babe, you let go and just trust yourself. Like you're in alignment. When you know that you're in alignment, then it feels like you're creating it, you're manifesting it. But really the separation between you and universe, like individuality with universality, is that the right word? Have sort of almost merged. And you are just living this moment to moment existence where like it is you creating, yet you're one with
every
all that
moment
is, so that it's happening through you.